Okay, guys, good morning. I hope everybody's having a good morning so far. It's only 9. So, there's some more information about the Codi Bigsby case. So, we're just going to touch base on that. It should only be about an hour, if maybe a little bit longer. I'm not too sure. Depends on what clips I have lined up here. So, let's just start and dig right into it. Okay, so I cannot see YouTube chat, and I gotta get my other phone, or my phone, not my other phone, but my phone. To see chat, maybe that might work. Turn down the volume. Okay. Just okay. Now I got my phone opened. I can see chat on YouTube. So, Codi Bigsby. It's been 2 weeks now, and still no sign of him, where his whereabouts may be. And Dad is still in jail. So let's just let's dig into it. Okay. Just gotta pull up I saved a couple of things on my computer. Just want to pull them up.
Well, today marks 2 weeks since the father...
That's one of them. Okay, so we'll start with that one actually first, because it seems to be the newest. I gotta share my screen, I guess, don't I? Been fighting this. I don't know if it's cold or what, but I don't know. My throat doesn't hurt, but it just sounds rough and coughing. I guess that'd be because I smoke. I don't know. All right. So let's share my screen here. There we go. Okay. So it says a review of more than 100 hours of video found Corey Bigsby was denied a lawyer during his questioning. His lawyer said he was proud that the police were. His lawyer said he was proud of the police for coming forward. I didn't think this. Okay, I think that's to do with more the press conference that we're going to get into. So let's just. This is from 13 News Now, I think. Yeah.
Father of Codi Bigsby reported him missing. This afternoon, we learned the lead detective on this case has been removed. Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot says that detective mishandled a request in the early stages of this investigation.
It comes back to the interrogation of the 4-year-old's father, Corey. Sarah Hammond is live outside police headquarters. She tells us why his request for an attorney went ignored. Sarah, what have you learned? For the last 2 weeks, Hampton police have maintained Corey Bigsby went to police headquarters voluntarily the day he reported his son missing, stayed there voluntarily without requesting an attorney until he was arrested. However, today, Police Chief Mark Talbot said the lead detective on the case ignored his request for an attorney following a polygraph test. 2 weeks after Corey Bigsby reported his son Cody missing, there's still no sign of the 4-year-old.
It has been 14 heart-wrenching days.
Before he was arrested on unrelated child neglect charges 4 days into the search, Hampton police repeatedly said Corey Bigsby was at police headquarters and had not requested legal counsel. Now, Chief Mark Talbot says after reviewing 100 hours of video, that's not necessarily true.
But we have our own obligation here. We didn't meet it.
Talbot said Bigsby waived his right to an attorney before his initial interview with detectives and again before a polygraph test. But around 4 a.m. on February 1st, a heated exchange ignited between Bigsby and the lead detective over the polygraph results.
In the midst of this heated exchange, Mr. Bigsby made a statement that I believe was mishandled by the Hampton Police Division.
That statement, he wanted an attorney, and that detective wouldn't let him.
My assessment is that his desires should have been honored.
Jeffrey Ambrose, Corey's attorney, has told us several times that Corey has said he was not at headquarters voluntarily, but now Ambrose said he's happy the chief is owning up to their mistake immediately after it was brought to his attention Friday afternoon.
They immediately came forward and made it available to the public. I think says a lot about this police department, and I gotta say I'm very proud to be a citizen of Hampton today. I think they've handled it well, given what happened.
Chief Talbot says nothing that has happened has shaken his confidence that they are focusing on the right person when it comes to Cody's disappearance.
But I'm disappointed that we have done anything that may have slowed us down on our quest to bring justice to this child.
Talbot says he has now replaced the lead detective who has been put on paid leave. He says it's too soon to know if the mistake was made intentionally, but there will be a full internal affairs investigation, and everyone who is involved will be held accountable. Live in Hampton, Sarah.
All right. So there was that. Now, my question with that is because now he did request a lawyer and was not given one. So would that hinder the charges of neglect on the kids? Would they throw that out because he did request a lawyer? And so that's just a thought I had. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. So like how that works, I'm in Canada, so we, like, if the police do not do their job, and like if you weren't read your Miranda rights or whatever, then you basically walk free. Now, is that the same thing with if you request a lawyer and one's not given to you because the police are being I'm going to say a douchebag? I have respect for the police, but not dirty police. Like, you don't do that. Especially when I heard that he had asked twice. He had asked 2 times for a lawyer, and one was not provided to him. Okay, so we're going to go to the, this is the press conference. I'm just going to close that. Oh, yeah, I just left it there. Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Williams with the Hampton Police Division's Public Information Office. I'm joined here today by Chief Talbot, Assistant Chief Gallo, Captain Coleman, Captain Price, Captain Scheck, and Captain Warren. On January 31st, 2022, at approximately 9:06 a.m., officers were called and responded to the 100 block of Ranelette Drive in reference to a missing juvenile, who we all know now as Codi Bigsby. Officers arrived on scene at 9:16 a.m., and 8 minutes later, multiple K-9 units arrived to assist. Within the hour, command staff and multiple detectives were already on scene. At 10:47 a.m., we formally requested the FBI to bring additional resources.
Sorry, that's too fast.
At 11 a.m., the Hampton Police Division disseminated a press release and social media blast, which reached hundreds of thousands of people within our community. With the assistance of the local media, that reach extended well into the millions. By 11:30, the FBI arrived on scene, bringing additional agents as well as a plane to our aid. At 12:29, a reverse 911 call went out to residents and neighborhoods requesting information. By 1 p.m., officers had already searched the immediate surrounding areas of the apartment complex. Officers and detectives began canvassing every house while canine searches continued and drones were searching from the air. Additionally, Mr. Bigsby, Corey's father, had arrived at police headquarters and began speaking with investigators. In the coming days, the search would evolve into a massive coordinated effort with our federal, regional, and local partners to include citizen volunteers. Searches continued by land, air, and sea. Dive teams were deployed, and drone teams scanned over 900 acres of remote marsh, waterways, and woodlands. As our search was taking place, investigative and forensic personnel worked around the clock to gather and process evidence to speak to anyone that might have knowledge about Cody's whereabouts. On the evening of Thursday, February 3rd, Corey Bigsby was arrested and transported to lockup, where he was served with 7 charges for felony child neglect. On Friday, February 4th, our search efforts began to transition.
Okay, he said on February 3rd, Corey Bigsby, Cody's dad, was charged. And I do believe it was the 1st of February that Corey had asked for a lawyer. Yeah, okay, so let's just continue on. What was that? Why that does that?
Transition into an investigative phase, and the massive grid search came to a slow conclusion. Since that day, our goal to find Cody has not changed. Our search has not stopped. Investigators are continuing to process immense amounts of evidence and follow up with every possible lead. With that, Chief Talbot will now provide additional comments.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Mark Talbot. I'm the police chief for the Hampton Police Division. I'm going to begin this press conference like I started all of the press conferences with this case. I'm here on behalf of 40-year-old Cody Bigsby. It has been 14 heart-wrenching days since he was reported missing by his father, Corey Bigsby. Sergeant Williams did a great job laying out the timeline of events, and he did an excellent job laying out all the work that we've put into this investigation. I am extremely proud of the work that was done, not only by the Hampton Police Division, but by our partner agencies and by members of the public who have been out there every single day with us. For that, we are extremely grateful. You know, an investigation like this has a lot of moving parts. You've just heard that. One aspect of an investigation of this nature is that it is important that I keep in my mind all of the aspects of this investigation that ensure that it has the integrity that it needs to have. And that is primarily why I'm speaking to you today. This past Friday, in an effort to ensure that everything that we've done has been consistent with our best and our obligation, we reviewed video footage of some of the interviews involving Corey Bigsby. So Mr. Bigsby came to the Hampton Police Division, I'll remind you, on January 31st to assist with this investigation. He had his 3 small children with him. Around 2:30 that day, Mr. Bigsby sat for a formal interview with our detectives.
Sorry, he said that he had his 3 small children with him. But when the reason why he was charged was because he had left those 3 small children alone at home with a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a set of 2-year-old twins. So not once, but twice. But he brought them to the police station.
The detective in that case began the conversation by reminding Mr. Bigsby that he was there voluntarily, he was not being detained by us, and that he had the right to an attorney if he chose to have an attorney with him. Mr. Bigsby decided to waive his rights at that time and to answer our questions. He continued to answer questions for several hours, and at some point it was suggested that we would like Mr. Bigsby to take a polygraph examination. Part of that polygraph examination that wasn't given by our agency, it was in fact given by a federal agency, involves, again, being reminded of his rights to an attorney, a right not to speak, a right not to incriminate himself. He received and he waived those rights, and he took the polygraph examination. Upon the conclusion of the polygraph examination, Mr. Bigsby resumed his interview with our detectives and our partner agencies. In the midst of this follow-up interview, there was a heated exchange between Mr. Bigsby and the lead detective in this case. The heated exchange came about when there was a discussion about the results of that polygraph exam. I won't discuss.
Oh, let's talk. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
Well, today marks 2 weeks since the father.
Yeah, we know that. I don't know what happened.
Our partner agencies. In the midst of this follow-up interview, there was a heated exchange between Mr. Bigsby and the lead detective in this case. The heated exchange came about when there was a discussion about the results of that polygraph exam. I won't discuss the result. I'll just say there was a heated back and forth. In the midst of this heated exchange, Mr. Bigsby made a statement that I believe was mishandled by the Hampton Police Division. He made a statement that indicated that he wanted to have legal counsel there with him. My assessment of his statement in that moment and a statement that he made several minutes later that was similar, expressing a desire for legal counsel, my assessment is that his desires should have been honored. They weren't. Ultimately, a decision like this that surrounds what we will do, what the court system will do in response to this episode is for the Commonwealth attorney, is for Anton Bell. But we have our own obligation here. We didn't meet it, frankly. We have our own obligation to maintain the highest standards of conduct to make sure that we're not skirting any lines that appear to be inappropriate or are questionable. We also have a standard that involves every member in this organization providing clear and concise and accurate information all the way up the chain of command so that we can make the best decisions as it relates to any investigation, in particular when it comes to seeking justice for a 4-year-old child. To give you a sense of the timing of what occurred, the problematic behavior that was brought to my attention was brought to me late in the afternoon this past Friday. As soon as we discovered this, we ordered the entire command staff into the police station to do a full audit of all of the video recordings of our interactions with Mr. Bigsby. That occurred throughout the weekend. Most of us were here all weekend completing that. Our analysis, our audit of that video left us in a much better place in terms of understanding what happened. It also allows us to be reassured and allows me to reassure the public that the charges that were filed against Mr. Bigsby are appropriate. Mr. Bigsby is the only person that we've found evidence against to indicate we need to continue to pay attention to him in order to find out where Codi Bigsby might be and what may have happened to him. Nothing that occurred has shaken my confidence surrounding whether or not we paid attention to the right person or whether or not we've missed some key detail. We have not. Our investigation is sound. Moving forward, we will continue to look at all the evidence. Many of you have reported some of the work that we did this weekend. We are searching different areas of the city. We are exploring the forensic evidence even further. We're continuing to take this investigation wherever the facts are going to take us. I deeply regret what I found out on Friday. Make no mistake about it. I am extremely disappointed with not only having to be the distraction that I spoke of previously, but I'm disappointed that we have done anything that may have slowed us down on our quest to bring justice to this job. That will be handled appropriately. Anybody who didn't live up to the standards that are important to us will be held accountable. And we will make sure that we continue to work as hard as we possibly can to bring more facts forward in this case and ultimately bring some degree of justice. With that, I will take your questions.
Has the lead detective been dismissed from the case?
We have a new leadership team and a new lead detective that we are going to have take over this case.
Is he on any type of work?
The detective has been relieved of duties.
Does this in any way jeopardize or imperil either the existing charges or future charges against Mr. Bigsby?
The existing charges are sound, and they are based on evidence that was obtained in the first hours of our interactions with Mr. Bigsby. I've been in contact with the Commonwealth attorney extensively, including right before I walked into this room. I believe that he will say more about that. We feel confident that those charges are appropriate and will stand.
At an initial press conference, he went on record and said that he was there completely voluntarily.
So, from what I gather for that question, was the charges that Corey is in jail for will stand and stick, even though he asked for a lawyer. Because according to them, they said that the information Corey gave about leaving the kids at home, why does it keep doing that? Sorry, guys. So, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, so yeah, the charges will stick because the information that he gave about leaving the kids at home alone was given to them in the first hours of Corey being questioned. Okay, so I wanted to go to the next, what's this one here?
Breaking news in the Codi Bigsby case. Today, Hampton police admitted to mishandling a request during the interrogation of the 4-year-old's father, Corey.
Police Chief Mark Talbot says Corey Bigsby originally spoke with police voluntarily, but he said today a later request for an attorney went ignored. We have live team coverage in Hampton.
It begins with Allison Basil, who's followed this case from day one.
Police Chief Mark Talbot tells us he ordered his entire command staff to do a full audit of interviews here at police headquarters involving Corey Bigsby. Moving forward, he says a new leadership team is heading the investigation.
Anybody who didn't live up to the standards that are important to us will be held accountable.
Righting wrongs. Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot says a full internal investigation is underway after it came to his attention Corey Bigsby didn't get a lawyer when he requested one.
But we have our own obligation here. We didn't meet it, frankly.
Chief Talbot gave a timeline of Bigsby's questioning at police headquarters. He says Bigsby came there voluntarily on January 31st and eventually sat for a formal interview.
Began the conversation by reminding Mr. Bigsby that he was there voluntarily.
Following that, he says Bigsby agreed to take a polygraph test. Later, when the results came back, Talbot says a heated exchange ignited between Bigsby and the lead investigator. He says Bigsby asked for an attorney.
My assessment is that his desires should have been honored. They weren't.
He says evidence leading to the 7 charges of child neglect against Bigsby is solid and came from the first few hours of voluntary questioning. Those charges are unrelated to Codi's disappearance.
The charges that were filed against Mr. Bigsby are appropriate.
And Talbot says the lead investigator is on paid leave. He says the division has policies and systems in place that should have allowed them to do better than they did. Live in
I agree with that. Now, there was one I wanted to share. Where's
So
the
could
one
the
with the
missteps
quote?
by Hampton police ultimately complicate their...
Sorry, guys.
Hampton Police told us there's no update in the investigation today. Still, a group of volunteers teamed up earlier today to search for Codi in the woods surrounding the Boo Williams Sportsplex. The man in charge of the search operation told our Dana Smith his team is not giving up.
Morning, y'all. So today is Saturday, second week of searching for Codi. As you can see, we got quite a few folks out here.
The search for Codi Bigsby continues, almost 2 weeks since he was reported missing. Saturday morning, a team of volunteers from the military veteran nonprofit search and rescue group Water Team Inc. once again searched the wooded area surrounding the Boo Williams Sportsplex.
I think in Hampton Roads, I think we've all somewhat adopted Codi as our own.
Joe Slabinski said the group has already searched a lot of wooded areas and waterways in Hampton, and they plan to cover more ground in the days ahead.
We basically embody the impression we are searching for a live person until they're proven not to be.
This was the second search at the Boo Williams Sportsplex. The group doubled back because it was too big to search the first time. Dana Smith, 13 News Now.
Water Team is a nonprofit emergency response group that relies entirely on donations. For more information on how you can volunteer or donate, visit 13newsnow.com.
Okay, I'm going to add their...
Hampton, it's going to be a lovely day, as long as you bundle up a bit,
on.
because it's cold. All right, good morning, everyone.
What's going
Thank
on?
you for waking up with Daybreak. I'm Ashley Smith.
I'm Dan.
Sorry. So, I'm going to put that Water Team Inc. In my description. I never heard of them. Heard of Nita Diver. But, now there was an article that I wanted to go over.
An update now to a police
Why do
targeted
they-
shooting from last year. Back in May, a Hampton police cruiser.
Sorry. There was one where the coat was found. Oh, that's right, too. I think I did that. Let me stop my screen for a second. Okay, where to go? Do-do-do-do. Sorry, guys. Just getting that one video that I wanted to. Oh no, I got all these ones here. Crap. Okay, so I watched it yesterday. That's not.
Our team coverage continues now with Sarah Hammond.
She spoke with Codi Bigsby's attorney, who has raised questions about how police handled the investigation since the beginning. Sarah.
Oh, hang on, guys.
Yeah, we spoke.
I guess I gotta share my screen again. Oh, it feels like Monday. Sorry. All right. Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
Spoke to Corey Bigsby's attorney, Jeffrey Ambrose, shortly after that press conference. At the time, he said he had not yet had a chance to speak with his client. However, he said he was proud of the way the Hampton Police Division came out and owned up to their mistake. And from the beginning, Ambrose has said Corey Bigsby told him he was not at the police division voluntarily. Today, police confirmed at one point he did ask for an attorney, but that was not honored. During that press conference today, Chief Mark Talbot maintained Corey Bigsby is the only person they have found evidence against and need to pay attention to in Codi's disappearance. Ambrose says there are a lot of outstanding questions, and he's looking forward to reviewing those tapes himself. However, for now, he says today he's proud to be a citizen of Hampton.
I want to say that I am incredibly grateful and proud of our Hampton Police Division today. That they went and they reviewed all of those tapes on their own to make sure that there was nothing amiss, and that when something was, they immediately came forward.
And Ambrose says this is a rapidly evolving situation, but he was hoping to speak to Corey later today to discuss next steps. Live in Hampton, Sarah Hammond, 13 News Now.
All right. So there was that one. Now, there was one that I had. I swore it was on the other page that I had. Just give me a quick second. I swore I had it. I swear to you. Okay, that's not it. City Council session. Okay. We'll just look for it. Bigsby. Code. Found. Okay, I think this is the one. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen again. All right. Close all these pop-ups. All right.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So I wanted to share with you guys this latest development that I actually discovered from Arctic Fox, which is a new creator here in the community. So please check out my community page to get the link to his channel. Very, very interesting.
I think this is Mountain Girl.
Details taking place currently. So a toddler blue bomber jacket was found in the woods near 4-year-old Codi's residence. Now, what is interesting is it's got a lot of heavy leaves and coverage. There were tire marks found near the coat, and this is near a church, but you can clearly see Codi's apartment complex from the area. So, again, investigators did show up on the scene, and heavy police presence, and the whole area is taped off. Let's please pray to God that this sweet little baby is found soon, and proper answers and justice comes for this child. But it's not been confirmed yet, but I feel strong about this, especially with it being the first breaking clue in this case. So, again, big kudos to a new creator here in the community. You know, again, that's what it takes, guys. People staying dedicated to these cases and being here for the right reasoning and getting this
If you haven't
information
already,
out, so
go over to Mountain Girl 212. She's a great YouTuber. She knows her stuff. So go over to her, give her some love.
again, I encourage all of you guys to hop over and show support to his channel. Here is the tape going up on the scene, and I don't honestly feel that they would be out there this long, heavy presence, unless they felt strongly that this could be in relation to this sweet little boy. And coming up is going to be the image. That is the image there that you see. And clearly you see all the leaves surrounding that coat. Many prayers tonight, guys.
Oh,
hey everybody, welcome.
Jesus, what is going on with my YouTube today? All right, so that wasn't the particular one that I wanted, but it did work. All right, I guess I know there was a news conference one. Let me just, one more check thing here. I was going to stop my screen for a quick second. Open up a tab here. And I'm going to go down back to where I was. Oh, sorry about my squeaky
All right, 11
whip.
days have passed since Codi Bigsby's father reported him missing. Investigators have not said what happened to the 4-year-old. We've seen the community very invested in this high-profile case. And today, Governor Glenn Youngkin commented on the case.
What is most disappointing is that we really don't have any clarity. And so I just call everyone to continue to provide every effort and every resource we have. Because when a child goes missing, it is the saddest thing we can possibly imagine.
But there is growing criticism. During a Hampton City Council meeting last night, some speakers asked the mayor and council why they aren't searching. A small group of activists pushed the boundaries. Allison Basil spoke with city council members about the tension. She's live for us tonight at Hampton City Hall. Allison.
Yeah, David, early in the meeting, Police Chief Mark Talbot tried to bring city council members up to speed on the search for Codi, but that update was quickly interrupted by a bullhorn and a frenzy of people shouting from the audience.
No, and it wasn't Bullhorn Betty.
A formal city council meeting spiraling into chaos. Activists abruptly shouted while Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot updated city council members on search efforts to find 4-year-old Codi Bigsby. Once those activists were removed, Chief Talbot assured council investigators are doing everything they can to find Codi.
We will lead those terms, so on turn, we haven't stopped since day one.
Last week, police said Codi's father, Corey Bigsby, reported his son missing. A few days later, police arrested Bigsby on unrelated child neglect charges. Speakers at the meeting asked council members why they aren't searching for Codi. Councilman Stephen Brown says his job is to support authorities.
My role as a council member is to empower and to provide resources for the professionals.
Brown says the outburst at City Hall pushed the envelope.
It took the spotlight off of Codi and put the spotlight on the organization who was getting rowdy and making the loudest noise.
Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray says his colleagues may have to rethink meeting procedures moving forward.
We certainly don't want to restrict anybody's right, but I think last night was a little bit over the top.
However, Brown says he's grateful to see so many people passing out flyers and sharing information.
You know, I'm proud of my community, and I'm proud of all of those who are searching for the young man and certainly prayers have gone up for him.
And during his update, Chief Talbot also told City Council members that he is thankful for all of the community members that have reached out and offered to help search. Live in Hampton.
All right, guys. So I think we're all basically caught up. Codi is still missing. And we're in week 2. I guess we're into week 3 now, aren't we? Yeah, week 3 is starting. So let's pray that this little boy is found safe and sound, and that the person that has done something to him, or like to make him run away, or to hurt him, and that he pays price, he or she, because everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So with that, I guess we'll end it here. I don't see too many in chat this morning, so it was early, so we'll leave it at that. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. And until my next live, I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.